And we're live. So hello to the nobody who's currently watching. But we'll see who shows up. Doing pretty much just impromptu because I need to do some organizing of my shelves. And I'm not working today, and the baby is for now taking a nap. We'll see how long that lasts because she's not been napping super great today. But we'll go ahead and do some reorganization here and go from there. So yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while actually, but I feel like it's just normal to. I typically always just will do this whenever I'm actually reorganizing the shelves. So it feels weird not to. And so we're just gonna do it here with. Oh, I always love when I don't make a thumbnail and it's like a super old uh, picture that it uses, but I should probably at least post in Discord that I am live. Why can I never find channels in the Discord? But going live now, I say, which is a lie. I'm already live. All right. So the big problem here, and the reason that we have a slightly higher angle than normal, is I've got more Tad Williams books, but the Tad Williams shelf is full, which is the main issue here. Specifically, we need to get Navigator's Children up there to finish out Last King Lost on Art. I also, though, do have Tail Chaser's Song and the War of the Flowers, which really could use a place up there as well. But we at least need to get the Navigator's Children up there. And it's all Ted Williams up there too. So we're probably gonna have to take down the Shadow March series and put that somewhere else. But then I have no idea where to put the other stuff. And I have some other miscellaneous books I'd like to get in here as well. So I've got to grab this stuff because I also want to find a spot for Burning Kingdoms trilogy here. And then I've got some Baker books. I've got some other miscellaneous books, and then I also have an empty spot over there that we'll try to fill as well. So that's gonna be that's what we're doing here. Figured I'd do this live. We can hang out and chat and go from there. So we'll pull up the only the non-Tad Williams book that's up here right now is Dark Moon by David Gemmell, which I remember I got this when I ordered it, and I'm like, oh, that's in kind of crappy condition. That's not cool. That's not really how it was advertised. But then I open it up to look at it, and it is signed and said, I will now keep this forever, and I don't even care that it's not in the greatest condition. But so we'll keep it there. So that's the only non-Tad Williams book, just because it's really small and it fit. But yeah, we're gonna have to, I think, take down Shadow March because that's going to be the only thing that's going to work to fit Navigator's Children. But then that's going to create a decent amount of room. So some other non-Tad Williams stuff might go up here. Maybe I'll put the other Tad Williams stuff up here too. This is also signed, which that one is actually a gift from Andrew. So now with that gone, we can get the Navigator's Children up here, which is a chunky book, but does not look nearly as chunky with those. But yeah, now we have a decent amount of room. So maybe I do just put War for the Flowers and Tail Chaser up there. And then, or I could always, these are this size. I might move. What if we put these up here? Move them up one spot. Still leaves a little bit of room. This is always the tough thing about reorganizing shelves is where the heck is everything gonna go? So that leaves us with just a wee bit of room. I feel like you don't see that as much, so I don't know. This is tough. Feel free to put suggestions in the chat here. I have no. I'm second guessing everything now. I always try to think about too, like shelf priority for me, but also so that it's like visible as well. And that's the part. This part is not normally the most visible when we have everything. So maybe we'll just keep War Flowers Tail Chaser there. What else do we got though that could move around? I might have to end up moving Lightbringer. I feel like looking at that, that's going to end up having to move. Just because that's the biggest chunk there. That looks like it might be easier to move. But I definitely don't need to do an unhaul. Actually, I've done pretty good this year. I've not gotten a ton more books. So it's been pretty good overall. But I might come back to this. So I also have some room up here that I need to fill. And things to fill that, we have Ray Bradbury, which could definitely go up there. And I might try to move something here there too. It's a decent amount of room actually, because I had Earthsea, which that book is gigantic. And as I was reading it, I still plan to finish. I still haven't actually finished it, but it was gigantic, and I don't feel like I'm going to actually want that gigantic thing on the old shelf. So that's kind of where we were there. But so if we put this here though, how much room does that leave us? Let's see. That's might bump. That's not a lot of room left at that point. Also a slightly different size. See, every time I try to put something somewhere, there's just an awkward amount of room left. This could probably scoot just a little though. Oh no. I have honestly thought about getting rid of these, but I don't know. They were pretty decent. I just don't know that I'm gonna reread them. And so at that point, having fancy versions, I'm like, do I need it? Do I need it? So we'll see. But so I do have a bit of room left. I do have more of these Barnes and Noble ones up around. Why is it a slightly different size though? It's a little bit irritating. It can almost fit though. If I take out Fancy Eye of the World and put it up with the rest of the Wheel of Time, I can actually maybe fit this up here. My two Grim Oaks, have those next to each other. We could do that. And that gives a little bit more room for the hardcovers here to all scoot over. And I just wonder if I end up taking Era 2 off the shelf, putting those somewhere else too. Could do. It gives us a little bit of room, but not a ton of room. I do have lots of miscellaneous other hardcovers and stuff down here, which we could always replace. What size is this? This is the same size. Need to move over to temporarily move the ducks. There we go. The other way. Immediately after I move everything. We can put this a slightly different size, but that probably works. We have room for like one more book in there. Because of course we do. And maybe we'll come back to it. I still need somewhere to put a shadow march. So yeah, I do think I'm gonna have to move Lightbringer to a different shelf. So the rest of the stuff I want to keep up. I do like it's Lightbringer and then Greenbone are like the actually colorful ones. So I tried to leave them together. Oh, and we got Jennifer Robin. Happy Friday to you as well here. I'm like hopelessly trying to figure out where the heck to move stuff because every time I try to put something somewhere, then it just creates more problems. Naturally. I have wondered too. They move some stuff up, around. It's got a couple of big hardcover stuff. I could always move Malazan a shelf. I also figure I haven't actually read these, so these can probably move. And then I still got to get the third book of this at some point too, but that might not get quite the prime real estate. So it gives me some room here, which I actually have. Will that? So I have multiple series I wanted to fit up here. That is entirely backwards order. What is that? A pop of color too. Put in there. Ooh, I am realizing though. These will almost fit. Oh, that's a different size. That's a different size here too. That does fit perfectly though if I just move Tail Chaser. So Tail Chaser might just move. And actually, we have one more spot here. So what if we just put Tail Chaser right? Ooh, that's a tight fit. But just barely gets in there. Okay, that might actually work. That might actually work. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. For sure. So then, I think this used to be over here. This is a shorter one though, so maybe that's why it moved over there. We can probably take off Golden Compass, which I've also not actually read. Maybe we put our David Gemmell books there, which are of course a different size. How dare they be a different size? The bane of my existence, books not matching in size. See, that would honestly, this would be really helpful. And I have started to be a lot better. The biggest problem, and part of the reason why I've been a little better with physical books, is for so long, I really only read physically. And so I still have that like collector mindset if I need to collect this physically. But I do a lot more ebook, audiobooks, especially if I'm trying something I'm not sure if I actually want to own. And so that has definitely helped. But I'm still way better off than I was. And like my overflow shelf is actually not very full for the first time in a really long time. So it's honestly pretty good overall, I think. But I do think This is a little bit jam-packed right now. I think I'm going to take Arrow 2 off. I'm not saying I'm getting rid of these necessarily, but I did get rid of a bunch of my Sanderson books that I just like, all of his YA stuff that I'm like, am I really ever actually going to reread this? And I just don't know that I am. And then I still have copies of like Way of Kings, and I have hardcovers of Mistborn, Elantris Warbreaker, all of those. I just have them on a different shelf because since I have the leather bounds in here, I'm like, I don't need 2 copies taking up the premium shelf space. So I figure that works. And what we might do here, because I think this is the same size. Oh, it's absolutely not the same size. Why is that such a weird size? Why does everything have to be a weird size? They're doing a lot of them for sure. So I have a single one which is hidden off screen because I'm not a huge fan of them. But they are definitely doing a lot. I was really hoping that would work to put that there, but it's not going to work, unfortunately. We might just put Shadow March here, though. Those colors will, I think, actually go decently next to. Oh, and again, it's a different size. Oh, this is why I hate reorganizing. This is so infuriating. So maybe I just wish there were more standard sizes for books because it just makes it super, super annoying to try to have it be at least somewhat the same. And like, I know it's not going to be perfect, but it's just annoying. Okay, so what if we put these over here instead? Which that's also going to be a different size. It's going to be slightly short. Oh, because those ones have. This is slightly shorter here too. So these are slightly taller than the other one. So I don't know if that's going to help. Impossible, I tell you, impossible. See, this is why it's a blessing and a curse that those are so hard to find hardcovers of. Because I have several of the mass market paperbacks, but I definitely would like to collect in. Ooh, that fits nicely though. I like that. That works. I should probably put all of the menu though on the other side so you can actually see it. Yeah, those. Unfortunately, and also thankfully, they're hard to find in hardcover. So that's, I feel like, saving me from having 20 other hardcovers to find a spot for. So it's probably for the best. But oh, and there we go. We have Andrew as well. How's it going? Yeah, I think she joined. She heard me up here, and there was nobody for a moment. Although, like, it jumped up to like 7 people, and just nobody commented. So I don't know if people are just using this as background noise. Which, hey, that's cool. That's no problem. But this is where I'm like, come on, help me out. Tell me where to move books. Because some of this might change anyway. Because I try to, I try to keep fairly consistent with size and make sure stuff's visible. But it's just always a challenge to get stuff to fit. How do these compare to these? Is that much taller? That's really not that much taller. So if we take out The God Is Not Willing, which is like the only non-core Malazan book that I've kept, I got rid of all of them. So I'm like, I don't really want to read any of these until I reread Malazan, the whole series. And so I got rid of most of them and all my ice ones. It actually kind of works though. It leaves us with just, of course, the tiniest spot left, which is somehow still too small for The God Is Not Willing. I can't win. I totally can't win. We'll find something, but I feel like you would immediately unhaul like 70% of my books if I did that though, because you would either have them or you'd be like, oh, I don't want this and I want this. And so my collection would just get completely decimated um, if I did that for sure. So I don't know that that's a good solution either, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Let's see. That gives us some more room. Um, although now, why did I took Lightbringer out for a reason, and now I don't know if that reason still applies. To be honest, I'm trying to make. Oh, you know what? That's actually fair because once I have Stormlight 5, that's going to take almost that entire section. So maybe I should leave that mostly open. Although I took Lightbringer out of here though. I took Era 2. That's what was there before. Um, so I actually think Lightbringer is saved from being moved because I ended up not putting. I think I was going to put these around. So I ended up mostly just moving. Thomas Covenant went up there, and I added War of the Flowers, but I haven't taken out a lot. I just mostly took some stuff out here. And then a couple of other miscellaneous things. So for the most part, this has actually kept things mostly pretty decent because I grabbed a couple of books from over here and moved them there. So that's sort of works actually. I feel like this is going pretty well because the baby is not woken up yet. I thought about doing this earlier, but she did not want to go to sleep. B, because I really wanted to figure out how to get Navigator's Children up top, and I wanted to get Burning Kingdoms trilogy up here. I still would like to get Prince of Nothing, but I've not actually finished reading those, so I'm going to have to keep taking them off anyway, so that's why I had not attempted. But we're pretty close, to be honest. So it's actually going pretty decently. I don't feel like anything looks terribly off. I have a couple of spaces where I need to find something, but it doesn't look terribly off or anything. Yep, absolutely. That's where, and I've been, I had been doing audio for some of the Recluse books because they're not anymore, but they were included on Audible Plus. And since I just kind of have a random selection of them on mass market paper that I'd come across, I figured that worked. But yeah, if I could find the hardcovers, because I really would like hardcovers and matching if it's a series that I'm going to collect, because I typically do. If they had, easily available trade paperbacks matching as well, I might be okay. But the paperbacks I've seen are not the original art. I like the original art because the Recluse books have some really nifty art. For some reason, I'm not seeing book one, but here's just a couple of them. I'm like, it's that old school. I forgot where the camera is. I'm using my webcam because I need a baby monitor on my phone. But really cool art. So, like, I would love to have hardcovers with the original art, but they're hard to track down. So, but hey, I mean, you're welcome to come over anytime and do so. But I'd prefer if you not take my books. Like we already talked about this, you would just get rid of most of them. So, and then we have Derek. Hey, Derek, how's it going? So, discount online bookshop. I try not to speak its name anymore because then I'm going to end up going to look, and I'm really trying not to. I'm still peeved though because the last time I went there to get something that I knew would be on there, and it was the area. Oh, you actually still can't see that, but it was the Area X collection they had. I wanted to get this. It had been on there. I knew it had been on there. And then I order it and they tell me they're out of them. And so I had to actually go buy it elsewhere. I was really peeved because that would have been perfect to get there. So that was really annoying. But yeah, I've been really trying to avoid buying stuff on Book Outlet because that is, I've gotten some stuff that I've really liked from there. But unless it's something that I've already read, I'm like, ooh, I definitely want to grab that. I'm trying to avoid it very much because that was one of my bigger weaknesses of getting books. But for For sure. That's one that we try to avoid these days. Um, yeah. So I do need to fill in a few spaces. That's where I'm looking. Do I have other miscellaneous books that I could fill in? Because probably I always have just a bunch of miscellaneous hardcovers um, that could go in, but we also have some. Hmm, what could we move? See, I'd love to put Cycle of Fire up here, but this is in such bad condition. I love this edition, but it's just in really, really bad condition. And so if I ever get like a new one of these, I will display it more, but it just like I don't want that to be the spine that you see. It looks so bad. The cover actually completely ripped off and is taped back on this and everything, or the back cover anyway. So I love this edition. This is the reason I picked up Janie Words to begin with, because it's really cool looking, but I'm like, I also really, I really don't. Don't want to show off my terrible condition hardcover for sure. What about, you probably put Ab Horson up here. Oh, and it's, of course, it's a different size. I hate trying to find the same size books so much. So much. I hate it. Okay. So that didn't work out either, but. Well, I don't know. How's let's see, you guys are the ones who have to, look at the shelves too while I'm rambling on about books and book related topics. How do the changes look? So I feel like it's not looking too bad. I tried to keep some like red over there since we were doing red and adding, but yeah, I don't mind Shadow March here. This kind of color clashes, so I'm like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I actually kind of like these look really nice on the shelf with the various colors and the different color in here. So those look nice to get on here. Hey, I'm sure you can find me something. Although there's a couple of Barnes and Noble near me, and I tell you, whenever I go in there, I don't usually find a whole lot I really want, to be honest. I even last year I went for the half price hardcovers thing, and granted I was probably pretty late, things were picked over, but like I got almost nothing. Like I got this copy of The Hobbit was I got, and pretty much nothing else because they just didn't have a ton. But also, like, I don't know if this is just me or not, but whenever I go to Barnes and Noble, I feel like their books are always in not the best condition. And like, I'm not going to pay brand new prices for a damaged book. And like, they don't really like care. They typically, they don't really discount. Or I'll be like, hey, do you have any of these that aren't damaged? Like, oh, no, we don't. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going to purchase the book. So I tried to buy The Will of the Many in Barnes and Noble, like twice in two different stores. I tried, and they were all in not very good condition. And I'm just like, I'm not paying you that price. Like, so I try to support, brick and mortar, but I'm just like, I'm not going to pay brand new, because like if I buy it on Amazon and it arrives damaged, I'm going to send it back, and they're going to give me a new one. And even if it's not in terrible, like I just had that. I bought a book new on Amazon, and it came, the back cover was bent and it was kind of warped, and I'm like, I want a new one, and got it. So I'm just like, yeah, I struggle with that, because like if I go to half price books, I'm paying $8 for a hardcover that's not in perfect condition. Well, that's understandable. But when I'm going to Barnes and Noble, like it's a new book, it needs to be new. So yeah, it's if you so I always tell people, at least for, because like Words of Light and Shadow, if you're okay with the like basically they're UK, but they're basically mass markets. They're slightly bigger mass markets, very easy to get online for the most part. For those, but like the hardcovers took me a while to track down, although worth it because they're absolutely beautiful. So hopefully though there'll be well, not for my wallet, but for my collection. Hopefully there'll be some special editions coming at some point here, and so that should be interesting. Although I'm going to be so torn because like I love the original hardcovers. So even a special edition, I'm like, it's gonna have to do a lot to be cooler than the original hardcovers, I think, for sure, for sure. That is fair. I might do that over here just because I don't really want to put more stuff when I'm going to be getting a book in, oh gosh, about a week when that comes. And things going to be massive. So it's going to take up, I think, most of that space. So that is pretty fair. I used to do that more. And it's like I got really mixed feedback on that. Some people didn't really care for it because I would like take a single book and I'd put it like this over the rest of the series so that it's still like it's taking up space, but not taking up more space than it needs. But I feel like it's, I don't know, not necessarily consistent. But honestly, now it's more of just a space thing. Is I'm sure I could find books to fit in there, for sure. And so it's definitely one of those things. But yeah, they definitely can be rough for sure. Um, Yeah, I have found that, and it's the fantasy section, which the last time I was in there, I saw Lord of a Shattered Land, and that made me very happy. But it's just like yeah, the selection's usually not the best, and that's why mostly Barnes and Noble. What I've gotten is their leather bounds. They're usually very cheap. They're very nice, like this Ray Bradbury, which I paid too much for because it's not in print anymore and not likely to go back in print. But like Monte Cristo here, I have a bunch of them not in here as well. I've gotten over the years, and I like them, and they're pretty cheap, and they're very nice looking. So I have a lot of those, but otherwise, those are usually wrapped in plastic, and you can get them pretty new, so that helps. Yeah, I really should try to do that more often, and I definitely it comes down to some of it's just I'm lazy. It's really easy to buy online, which is why I liked. Unfortunately, Silverstone's books isn't around, but would have get indie author books, a lot of them direct, and you're paying a little bit more, but you were more supporting both the indie bookshop and the indie authors a little bit more directly. But I've done that a few times. Where I'm just like I'm gonna go to your website and get it, and not have to involve other people. Uh, oh, why are we not? There we go. Yeah, 100%. Even if it's like I would hope it's good, but like even if they somehow were like even kind of mediocre, I'd probably still buy all of them. And I'm thinking about the fact how many hardcovers that's going to be. It's going to be very expensive, but worth it. Yeah, 100%. Just like if they ever went and did like a actual cool Wheel of Time special editions, that's why in some ways I'm kind of thankful that they didn't because like the anniversary one up there, which is the silver one, is the lamest special edition, and I only own it because I found one on Book Outlet for $12. And I'm like, I will pay $12 for that. The Barnes and Noble leatherbound version, which I just actually threw up there. Ah, that was the other thing I moved. That was actually pretty darn cool. I actually really like that one, although still I like the original cover art, and so that's kind of where I'm torn. But those I would spend money on those. Wars of Light and Shadow for sure. You'd think I would have for Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, but they were so expensive from Grim Oak, and so I'm just keeping these bad boys as well. But yeah, that's where I would just hope that the Janny ones aren't insanely priced because I'm gonna want to buy them regardless. But I also don't want to spend a crazy amount of money. So, oh, alrighty. Where were we? Where were we? With some stuff. So just need a tall trade and another trade there. That's not enough room for this, except now it's definitely not enough room for those again. Not enough room for those again. What do we got sitting over here? That one still didn't fit. I might have to just grab something else. What do we have? What do we have? I know I have. See, this is also why I'm wearing my headphones instead of using the microphone so that I can walk away and still talk to you guys. What size? I recently got, I don't think I've actually even done a book haul yet, but I recently got, which made me a little bit sad, this copy of Fiona of Our Tapestry, which I actually do think may have been from Book Outlet, to be honest. It's an interesting one, and I don't have an issue with this art. The problem is I had two of the Fiona Bar books in they were weird reprints. They were like weekend editions and they were odd sized, but they did still have the original Janny and Don Mates artwork on them. And so I really, really liked that artwork and I liked them, but they were odd sized and I only had two of them and then I had the third book in a different size. And so seeing an omnibus, I'm a sucker for an omnibus for sure. So I ended up grabbing this. So what size are you? Too short there. And you're too short there and don't fit anyway. So just spoil the book haul for nothing. Because of course it doesn't fit now. Okay. We'll find something to fit for sure. Oh, what about? I'm still working on reading this. This would probably work. We've got the Great Book of Amber, which is pretty large, which has this Derek Bailey Umbridge bookmark in it. I had to buy physical copies of the Lost Book of Swords because they don't have digital. But oh, well, I was gonna say that'll be. Oh, it fits. It is the wrong size, however, though. That's so rude. I'll have to find out about that one, I suppose, because I did get for the first one, which God knows I'm never going to find matching copies of this, and I am fully sure of that. But I have this first Book of Swords. It's like these don't even have the most exciting cover art by any means, but like the new one is just not. I don't like it, the one that was showed. So this is in decent enough condition. So I'll have to see about collecting these kind of as I go. This is another one though. It's kind of odd size, so that would probably have to go up here with the odd sized hardcovers. But yeah, I'll definitely be continuing that series. So we'll kind of see as I go what we fit in there. All right, what else do we got? What size? Oh, I'm knocking stuff over. This is probably the same size. Is that the same size? Yeah, that's pretty much the same size. This is still going to be too short. Oh, just barely. This is even slightly closer, but not quite. It's so difficult to find matching books. This is where I'm trying to remember, actually, now that I think about it, if I ever did it. But I always meant to do a book, or not a book, a video about just like all of the different sizes of books that I own, because it's way too many. And I really try to organize my shelves so that it fits. But then you have series like, these Malazan books, which are not the same size, but I actually have all trades, so I don't even care. I just like having them. But there's all the different kinds of books. And on the lower shelves where it's a little less obvious, they're not all the same size, and that's, it just is what it is. But like I hate, especially on the shelves that are right at eye level, having different size books for the most part. It just drives me a little bit bonkers. So you have your different sizes of hardcovers, your different sizes of the tall paperbacks. You have your different sizes of kind of the medium, or smaller hardcovers. Then you have a bunch of paperbacks, and it's super irritating. It's super irritating. And you won't. Despite I keep getting emails like, oh, do you want to review this author's romantasy book? And I'm like, no, I don't. If you'd watched even 5 minutes of my channel, you would know that I do not want to do that. For sure. I do almost feel like, I almost feel like I should take Dagger and Coin off here, or all this Anthony Ryan, just because I've read like none of it. I plan to, but that's always the thing too, is finding time to read. And I do like, mostly the high up stuff is mostly all been read. Although like with Tad Williams, I haven't read War of the Flowers yet, and that's up there. But mostly the high shelf stuff is stuff that I have read. But it just varies a bit because I also, like I said, I try to find stuff that fits the right size and everything. Let's check to see. You are the shorter kind. Yeah, this is the shorter kind. So it would fit in the middle. These were the other books. I was going to see if I could find a spot for sure. But like I said, I'm going to be reading Prince of Nothing hopefully really soon. I wanted to have finished it by the end of the year. There's just at least the Prince of Nothing trilogy. That is definitely not going to happen at this point. I at least want to read book 2 though, because the first one was very good. Yeah, I mean, and it's not even always different publishers is the aggravating thing. I actually just recently got rid of them, but I had the of Blood and Bone, the follow-up to Faithful and the Fallen, all Orbit, and each of the 4 books was a slightly different size, and that was for that reason alone. I didn't keep them up here on this shelf, but would consider getting rid of them for a long time. But it's just like it's not that hard to keep books the same size. Like there should just be a standard hardcover size, and there should be like a standard of the tall paperback size. And like you can have different sizes, but like there shouldn't be such a wide variety. It's always so irritating when you get the random book that's just a completely different size too. Um, like I have Laying Down because I can't fit there the Hand That Casts the Bone because this is such an awkward size. It's not the same size as the first book, which I have a bunch of books that are that size, but it's also taller than a UK paperback, but it's way shorter than full size or even the slightly shorter full size. So it's like, what is this size? Nothing is this size. It's not this size, not this size. Nothing is that size. So it lays down because nothing quite fits it, unfortunately. So I've got a few books that are just like odd sizes that I just lay them down, which happens, but not the end of the world by any means. So, all right, we're still check on the the baby sleeping. I'll see how low my phone is. That's not too bad actually. I'm still kind of I have a message from Andrew saying, I see you. Yeah, that tracks. That tracks for sure. Honestly, we're doing pretty good. So to the 6 people here, any what do we? I mean, any suggestions, things that you're like, hey, where's this series? Why isn't this here? Things you think I should move around because this is the time. I honestly I try not to organize my shelves too often because I used to just constantly be trying to move things in and out, and that's why stuff that I'm actively reading I try not to keep on here for the most part because I kept doing that, or I do the thing where I turn a book around because I'm currently reading it and I'm just holding a placeholder, but then people are like, "Why is that book backward?" and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely happens, but I am gonna take I'm gonna do this right now with Rune Lords as a temporary placeholder, um, knowing that we're gonna be getting Winded Truth. Also, just like that's a really cool cover anyway, so no problem doing that by any means. But I don't know, any suggestions or other comments? It doesn't have to be directly related. This is a super informal stream, obviously, considering I just kind of spur of the moment did this. I am still planning. This is not, by the way. I am still planning to do a 2,000 subscribers celebration video. The thing is, I thought it was going to take longer. I had been going like up 3, down 4, up 2, down 1, down, then just constant up and down for months. And then I finally hit 2,000, and then all of a sudden things just skyrocket. Now I have like 20, 30 something, which is ridiculous considering how long it took me to actually get to the 2,000 mark. So I thought it was going to take longer, and it's kind of hard to schedule streams because even this one, I thought I was going to have to potentially get off at any moment, but I am still planning to do one, hopefully with guests, and just kind of have a fun little celebration for that. Too, this really was just like, hey, you know what? It's I'm off today because daycare is closed, so I'm home, and yeah, just figured like, why not? Let's give it a shot and try to do it. The bottom shelf, which you never see, is all mass market paperbacks. I don't have enough mass market paperbacks to fill an entire shelf anymore, um, actually either. But yeah, I'm trying to just look around and see, is there anything that I would like to move around? Anything? I am gonna have to look to see. I know I have a couple of the tall. I am honestly quite tempted to just go look for some other full-size paperbacks and see. My headphone, honestly, it would probably make it. I think it could. I do have some miscellaneous hardcovers though that I could also throw in here if I need to as well. On this other side, at least, like a couple of Guy Gabriel K's, same size. Of course, it's not the same. Are you kidding me? I can't make this up. Every time I grab something, it's not the right size. So it's so weird. I suppose these are the shorter ones. So if I just put them here, it's probably okay. Um, I have a bunch of Guy Gabriel K kind of all over the place. So that looks like that might be about the perfect size, just depending on how big Wind and Truth is. So I'm gonna keep these on deck. I'm gonna keep those on deck for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna run out really quick to look for some more full size big paperback books to see what I can fit in. Um, these are the shorter ones, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are. Yep, those are. I was looking at these guys. Oh, okay. I think we're back. My Wi-Fi is really bad for some. Uh, like Candice and John Glenn series kind of blend together. That is a really good point. They sort of do. So having something between them would probably make sense. Should I like? I do need to find something else, but I mean, I could just always like. I just want to make sure it doesn't clash too much because that looks so sudden. Hmm. It does look really sudden. But they also, yeah, they definitely do. Something to go between them that makes sense. Okay, it looks like the internet has figured itself out now. That would have been just my luck. I walk away and I walk away and then the internet goes out and I don't even notice it. Um, Will many next to the king. So this one's hardcover and these are paperbacks. I think it's going to be different sized. Yeah. And that unfortunately, it's not that much of a difference, but it is going to drive me absolutely crazy. That's been the problem I've been running into the entire time, where things are just slightly different size. Um, I did originally, so I bought. I started Lycanius just before the third book came out, and so I got a hardcover of the third book because that was all that was out for like a year. But then later, I ended up getting rid of it and getting a paperback just because I didn't want to. It was going to be cheaper to get one new paperback versus getting the first two hardcover. Apparently, they didn't print that many hardcovers, so that actually might have been worth some money now. But I went for the matching set anyway. But yeah, I'm trying really hard because I found a bunch of tall paperbacks, and they're just all not quite the right size. And like I have more. I think. Well, is this the right size? Of course it is. Another white book. That's not going to help the situation. You, in fact, can't even really see that even because it's too plain. Wizard Knight by Gene Wolfe. But of course, it's the right size. Um, that's so irritating. I was just trying to look to see what else I have that might be the right size. Um, like I have Night Angel, which I still haven't read, but I haven't actually. I don't know that I'm even going to like Night Angel. Um, So I don't know that I want to put it that high up. And then I don't have, that's pretty well it for the tall paperbacks that are here. So I'm gonna hope that the internet doesn't randomly go out. I'm gonna keep talking so that you know I'm actually here and not gone, and we'll see if I get out of Bluetooth range. But I'm gonna really quickly go look for some more books. So we're on a quest, but I have now my overflow shelf, which is in one different floor actually. So I'm trying to very stealthily. Very nice to see because I don't actually know once you end up the right size. We're back. All right. So I just grabbed some additional tall paperbacks. So now we have to just compare the size and see if they actually are the right size. Yeah, that's where, well, and especially that one, older teenage boys. That's why I don't know if it's going to be for me. I did like Lightbringer. I mean, obviously, we looked at Lightbringer. So I'm like, I like that one. I just don't know if Night Angel is going to be for me because I know it's reads a little bit younger and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm gonna eventually try it. I just don't know if it's going to end up being for me. Okay, so for color paperbacks, we have Land Fit for Heroes, which would fit, and we have this Gary Kilworth book, which is bright yellow. And these should be the right size. So now the question is where they go. So let's try. You guys have to let me know how this looks. We'll move Faithful and the Fallen over here. Lycanius, a little bit of color on the other side, and bright yellow book in between. I don't think that looks that bad. I'm trying to look on camera. That's really not bad. My only question is if I should flip them because that is sort of a yellow. So like, would it look better on that side and with this here? I'm gonna try it. You let me know which one looks better. We'll take these, try not to drop them. We'll go there because there's a little bit of orange on LPQ. Now we have the yellow right next to the red. And then we're finishing kind of more white. But what's which looks better? You have to let me know. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of feel like I liked it the other way, but I'm not 100% sure. Could be more. No yellow, do you think? Should we just take the yellow completely? I'm trying. Oh, goodness. There aren't that many bright yellow books, but this is a like sci-fi fantasy gateway omnibus, and they do bright yellow for some reason. I don't really know why they do it. Let's try a few different options. Like if we put that in the middle instead, and then that probably won't fit there. No, it won't. No, definitely. Definitely will not fit there. I still want LPQ in here. I don't know about that either. It's just a little, hey, look at me. To be perfectly honest, that's why this is not on the shelf, because what does this go with? Even if I put it next to something else that's kind of yellow, it just still is so bright. So okay, so yeah, that one won't work out. I was trying to think if there was any way to fit more there. Decisions. I feel like I feel like it needs a little bit more of a transition because you're going from very white to very color, and at least like the like Canius one's a little bit better. That's where I was like looking like these are kind of a mix, although they don't necessarily look the greatest. But I'd have to take something off, and then I don't know where I would put that. And then that's where we would start this problem all over again. All over again, we start this problem. Yeah. It's like if I just had slightly more room somewhere, just slightly better than yellow. It's fair. It's fair for sure. Goodness. But now I still don't have anything else that quite fits there. Apparently, I need more books. That's what I'm learning from this experience. I need more books so that I have more that will match. Yeah, so a softer color. Well, see, and that's where like I don't know. I could try putting in. Wizard Knight was the right size. I feel like that sort of just blends, but maybe since it's kind of an off, more of like a cream, that probably helps a little. Then we have just the tiniest sliver left. I don't know that I'm going to find anything that's going to fit that piece. So that gets us pretty close. I just moved them a little off center. Breaks it up, I think, a little bit between. I don't think that looks too bad. And you still have some stuff between. I feel like, the red to the whatever color that is, sort of reddish, goes. Could always put LPQ at the other side too. How would that look? I don't know if that's better or worse. I'm gonna put it back. I feel like it was a little bit better before, where it was. So I had one slightly chunkier, or a really, yeah. I think that does seem to help. Just putting something that's a little bit of a transition color. I still looking at the screen, I can barely tell. I can't really read what that is, but it does seem to make it flow a little bit better. So we can stick with that. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to have anything that's that exact size, that's that thin, because there aren't many things that are that thin in that size. But I think it's close enough. It's to the point where there's not a very noticeable gap on the shelf. So if there's a little gap, it's probably okay. I try to get them as close as possible, which is a little annoying because there's also just a little gap with Malazan, which also needs something, but probably not yellow is what I'm hearing. Because this is short. all of them short. Now I might just shove. Will this fit? Nope, that won't fit either. I was gonna say I could just shove the golden compass back. I was using this. It's a cool little addition, but I've not actually read it. So that's where I'm like, it probably doesn't deserve. Ooh, it would fit here though too. So if I need another book in there, we can maybe put that back. We'll wait a bit though, because I think that'll be, yeah, next week when we get a new one. Yeah, no, that's always how it goes. A little bit of chaos. That's where, like I said, I don't know. I know this isn't the most exciting thing, but I always like to do these live and just kind of like, let's mess around and figure something out. But I think overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I might just leave Rune Lords turned out as a placeholder, see how much room I have once we get to Wind and Truth. I'm going to be reading it though, so maybe I should just put something in here for now because it's going to be a little bit before it actually goes. I will go back and we'll put a couple of Guy Gabriel K books in. I think I had something else, miscellaneous hardcover. We can but that doesn't quite both fit. These different sizes? No, I think they're about the same. Put in some David Gemmell. Yeah, that'll work for now, I think. That'll work for now. Let's take out Isabel. Which I haven't read either of those yet either. So yeah, we just really need a spot next to Malazan, which is pretty small. Which honestly, I might just put the Steel Remains here because I know it'll fit. Yeah, we're just gonna do that for now. I might take that out at some point because it's weird having just the first book, but it fits. So it's where it's gonna go, I think. Yeah, I think that it does pretty much accomplish. We've really filled in most of our gaps here. Added Navigator's Children, added Burning Kingdoms trilogy now that that's done, added the Ray Bradbury book, added some more Gemmell, some more Tad Williams. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right. Well, I think we're pretty well good here. Thanks everybody who joined here and participated in sowing a little bit of chaos with the book organization. But yeah, like I said, I'll definitely be doing like a more formal 2,000 subscribers sort of celebration here, hopefully pretty soon. We'll see, but that's I'd say that's the shell is pretty well organized. So that's it for now. I will see you later.